Hello everyone, my name is Jose Rodriguez. Welcome to the second video of our playlist dedicated to the operating system credential dumping LSASS memory technique. Before we continue, it is important for you to understand that the steps that you will see in this video are just for educational and demonstration purposes. You must not use them against any real network. The LSASS memory technique has been used for real adversaries to access credential material stored in the process memory of the Local Security Authority Subsystem Service, or LSASS. We will use 3 virtual machines from our lab environment to simulate this attack: a Windows 10 system, a pfSense router, and our Kali Linux machine. If you would like to build a similar lab environment, please follow the videos uh, under the My Virtual Lab Environment using VirtualBox playlist in our YouTube channel. We will provide a link to this playlist in the description of the video. Here you can see a list of the tactics and techniques that we will show in this video. For this new scenario, we will assume that Nora Kemona, our victim, has been assigned domain admin rights by mistake. This will allow us to run commands on the device with high privileges. In order to grant high integrity level to our Meterpreter session, we will execute our malicious file as an admin, okay? The most important technique within this plan is LSASS memory, okay? And we will implement it by using Procdump, a Microsoft Sysinternals utility, and Metasploit as a command and control or C2 framework. Here you can see the 3 virtual machines: Kali Linux, pfSense, and Windows 10. It is important to note that the interaction between Kali and the Windows systems will be through the virtual router. Also, there are 2 important prerequisites in order to complete the steps for our simulation plan. The first one is that WinRAR, one of the most popular compression tools, must be installed on our Windows 10 system. If you need to install WinRAR on your Windows 10 virtual machine, please follow the steps described in the video installing WinRAR on a Windows 10 system, which is part of our playlist on YouTube. We will share the link in the description of this video too. And the second one is that our victim machine or user, Nora Kemona, must be part of the domain admins group, okay? So if you go to your domain controller, okay, and you access the users and computers application, okay, under the accounting group, in this case, there is where you can find Nora Kemona, okay, and then if you access the properties for that user under the member of tab, you will see that Nora Kemona is part of the domain admins group, okay. Nora Kemona should not be member of this group. We just made our domain more vulnerable for the purpose of this video. Okay, so if we go back to our presentation, during the first steps of this simulation, we will suppose that the Windows 10 system belongs to the attacker because we will use it to create a malicious image that contains our reverse shell payload. Okay, so let's start by making our payload available for our victim, Nora Kemona. Okay, so we will open a new terminal window by clicking in this icon. Let me increase the font size for you. Okay, and let's change our current user to the root user by typing sudo space su and then providing the password for Kali. Now, let's start by getting network information for our system, okay? And we will run the IP space A command. And as you can see, the IP address for our Kali system is 10.05.13, okay? So we will create a folder to store our malicious payload, and we will do that by running the following command: mkdir, okay, and then slash home slash Kali, and the folder that we are creating is going to be fake website. Okay, then just hit enter. Now we can create our payload um, and store it in this directory. Okay, well, we will use msf venom. Okay, dash p for the type of payload, and the type of payload that we are going to use is Windows slash x64 slash interpreter slash reverse underscore HTTPS. We need to provide the listening host for this payload. Okay, in this case, we need to use the IP address for Kali and also the listening port. You can use whatever port you want. I'm going to use 4433, and I will also use the -f parameter to specify the format, okay, of this new payload. I will go with the executable format, so that's what I use, exe, okay, and then we are going to send this payload to the fake website directory, okay. At the end, you need to specify a name for the payload. You can use whatever name you want. I'm using winx64 underscore payload.exe. Okay, so let's just hit enter. This payload, once it is executed, will start a reverse shell connection from Nora's computer to our Kali system. Okay, unlike our previous video, we will hide this payload within a compressed file that we will use as an image. Okay, so let's minimize this window. And then let's go to the Kali icon here on the top left of your screen. Okay, if we click on that, we can search for different applications within Kali. So let's look for the screenshot application here. Let's enable the select a region option and then click on OK. So let's create an image of the Kali Linux logo here. Select the save option, okay, and if by any chance you have this option showing folder checked, uncheck that option, okay, and then click on OK. Select the desktop as the destination folder for our image, and then let's update the name of this file to Kali underscore image, okay, and the extension that we will use is PNG. Okay, then just click on save, or you can just hit enter. Now, if we open, no, as you can see here in the desktop, here's the image that we just created. Okay, the image was created successfully. As we mentioned it before, we will use the WinRAR tool to compress this image and our payload in a unique file that we will use as an image to deceive our victim. Okay, so before we compress these files, we will need to create a new one that will act as the icon image for our malicious file. Okay, so let's start by transferring our image to the host machine. Okay, and we will use the shared folder option within VirtualBox. Okay, so what we need to do is on your desktop, okay, make right click, and we are going to create a new folder, and we will name this folder share underscore folder. You can use whatever name you want, okay, and then just click on create. So then what we are going to do is we are going to select the machine menu, okay, for the virtual machine. Select the machine menu, then go to settings, then go to the shared folders tab or menu here, and then click on the adds new share folder icon here at the top right of your screen. Let's look for the download folder in our host system, okay, for the folder path. So let's click here, click on other, and let's select the downloads folder in our host machine. Okay, then click on open. let's use the default folder name, okay? And we need to specify a mount point for the share folder, okay? And we will use the path to the shell folder that we created before, okay? So that folder is under home, Kali, desktop, share underscore folder, okay? And then we will enable the auto mount option and the make permanent option, okay? And click on OK, and then click on OK again. On your desktop, okay, let's move the Kali image to the share folder here. So the image is inside the share folder now, okay? And we will also copy our payload uh, to this directory, okay? So you can open again your terminal window. Okay, let's just clear this. And we will copy our payload to this shared folder by using the cp command, okay? So you type cp space and then the path to the payload, which is home, Kali, fake website, win64, win64 underscore payload.exe space, and then you need to specify the path or yeah, you need to specify the path of the destination folder or directory. In this case, I want this file, the payload, to be copied to home Kali desktop share folder. Okay, and then just hit enter. Okay, so we just copied our payload and our image to the download folder in our host machine, okay, using the share folder option within VirtualBox. Okay, so if we go to our host machine here, here is the download folder, and you can see the image and the payload. Okay, now let's open a window in your preferred web browser. Okay, we need to create a third file. Okay, a file that will be used as the icon for our malicious file. Okay, so we will choose the files here and then select the image, the Kali underscore image.png. Okay, and then we need to select a format. Okay, um, for image there are, we have these three options, but the one that we are going to use is the ICO or icon image. Okay, and then we will just click on convert. So this website convertio.co can help you to convert files from one format to another format. Okay, and let's wait for the website to convert our PNG file into an icon or ICO file. Okay. Okay, so once the conversion process is complete, okay, we will need to download the ICO file by clicking on the download option here. Okay, so let's just click on here. Okay, so let's update the name for this new file and let's use the icon underscore image. Okay, and we are going to store this into the downloads folder in our host machine. Okay, click save. Here on the left side of your screen, you can see this is the icon file. We have the original image, the PNG file, and our executable file. We will use these three files to create a malicious one. Okay. Um, cool. So let's access our Windows 10 system. Okay. Let me enter the password for Nora. Okay. So even though this is our victim machine, or system, right, we will assume that this virtual machine belongs to the attacker. The idea is to create the malicious compress file, okay? So since all the files that we need to create our malicious file are in the download folder of our host machine, we will access them using a share folder too, okay? Similar to what we did with our Kali Linux machine. However, we do not need to create a new folder um, like we did with Kali, okay? So let's just go to the machine menu and then select the settings option. Let's just go to the shared folders menu or tab and then click on the add share folder icon at the top right of your screen. And let's look for, again, the downloads folder in our host machine. Okay, click on open. Let's use the default name for the folder and then just enable the auto mount option and make permanent option. Click on OK and then click on OK again. Let's open a file explorer window. Okay, and if you select the this PC option, okay, you should see a shortcut to the shared folder under network locations. Okay, let's double click on this shortcut and we have here the three files. Okay, the icon file, which is basically the image for our malicious file. Okay, we have the Kali image that we created, the PNG file, and our payload. Okay, so let's select the original image, Kali underscore image, and the payload files. Okay, let's make a right click on them and select the Add to Archive option. Under the General tab, okay, let's update the name for this archive file. So we will use happy underscore image dot jpeg. Okay, and select the best compression method, and then under archiving options select the create self-extracting archive or SFX archive. Now under the advanced tab here, let's click on the SFX options and then we will go to the setup tab, okay, and under the run after extraction section, okay, we will need to type the name of the image, okay, including the extension, and after that the name of the payload. So we will need to do Kali underscore image dot png. Okay, this will allow the application to open the image, and then we also need to specify the name of the Windows payload of the payload, which is winx64 underscore payload dot exe. Okay, so whenever the user opens this compressed file, okay, it will open the image and also execute the payload after that. Okay, so remember that these names and extensions, they need to match the names and extensions of our files. Okay, Kali underscore image, winx64 underscore payload. Okay, let's go to the modes tab. Okay, and let's check the unpack to temporary folder. Okay, and we are doing this so our victim does not see the extracted files immediately after clicking on the malicious file. Okay, and under silent mode, okay, let's select the hide all option. Okay, so there is no need for the user to interact with the extraction process. And finally, we are going to use the text and icon tab. Okay, and at the bottom of that window, click on the browse option for load the icon from a file. Okay, and we will need to select the icon image that we created, using the Convert.io website. Okay, let's click on open and then click on OK and OK again. You should see a new file called happy underscore image dot .jpeg in the downloads folder. Okay, this is the file that we will need to make available in a Python web server using our Kali Linux machine. Okay, we hope that our victim does not realize that even though the file name contains the extension .jpeg, okay, um, this file is actually an executable, as you can see here. Okay, so let's go to our Kali system and access the shared folder again. Okay, let's just refresh our window. Let's just click on somewhere else, desktop, and then share folder again. So now um, you can see here the malicious file or image. Okay, so let's copy the malicious file to the fake website folder. Okay, using the terminal app. So let's access the terminal. Okay, let's change our directory to share folder. So let's type cd desktop share folder. Okay, and let's list all the files using the ls space dash al command. As you can see, here's the malicious file. Okay, happy underscore image. So let's use the cp command. Okay, so we can move this file to our fake website directory. So let's use cp and just the name of the file, which is happy image, and then the destination folder will be home Kali fake website. Okay, now let's change our current directory to the fake website folder. Okay, cd home Kali fake website. Okay, let's clear the screen and let's list all the files. And you can see here is the original payload that we also have the happy image file. Okay, let's make these files available in a HTTP server. Okay, using Python. We are going to use Python space -m. Okay, and then space http.server, and then we are going to specify the port 80. Okay, and then just hit enter. So if we go to our Windows 10 machine, let me close this window, because from now on this virtual machine is again the victim. Okay, if we open a web browser window, and if we access the Kali server, which is 10.0.5.13, okay, we should be able to access the content of the fake website folder, happy image, and the original payload. Okay, as we mentioned it before, once the payload is executed, a reverse shell connection will be received by our Kali system. However, in order to handle that connection and start an interpreter session, we need to configure a listener on port 4433, the same port we use when creating the payload. Okay, so we will use the Metasploit framework to configure this listener. So let's open a new terminal window. Let me increase the font size for you. Okay, let's change our current user to the root user. And then before we start the Metasploit framework, we need to start the PostgreSQL service. Okay, so it helps us to manage the Metasploit database. Okay, and then we will run msfdb init, okay, to start the Metasploit database. And finally, we will use msf console dash q, okay, to start the Metasploit framework in quiet mode. Okay, so now let's run use multi slash handler, okay, hit enter, so we can load this module. And as you can see, we need to specify um, the proper parameters for this module. So let's run the options command so we can get all the information for this multi-handler module. We need to specify the proper payload, the listening host, and the listening port for our listener. Okay, so let's start by setting the payload, set space payload, and we will use the same payload, Windows slash x64 slash meterpreter slash reverse underscore https. Okay, and then we will set the listening host for, yeah, we will set the listening host to 10.0.5.13. Okay, and we will set the listening port to 4433. Okay, hit enter. As you can see, I'm using the same parameters I use when creating the malicious payload. Okay, and let's start our listener by running run. Okay, great. Our Kali system is just waiting for Nora to execute the payload file. Okay, so now we just completed the first stage of our attack, resource development. So let's continue with the second tactic of our simulation plan. Okay, we will access our Windows 10 system again. Okay, and then make we will make click on the happy image link here. Okay, to download the file. You might get a warning message regarding the download, but in case you get that, just select the keep option to continue the download. Okay, so let's open our downloads folder. And here is our, as you can see, let's say I am a normal user and I see, oh, this is the image that they offered me, right? It has a .jpeg extension, but as you can see here, it says application. But anyway, um, let's just make right click on it and we will run this as administrator. Okay, and then just click on yes when you get this user account control window, so we can allow this app to make changes in our device. Click on yes. Okay, so two actions will take place when opening our malicious image. First, we should be able to see our image. Okay, right now it's being loaded. Okay, so here is the image. Okay, as you can see, there are not, you cannot see any files like extracted. So we just opened the image, but at the same time, the payload was also executed, okay, under the context of Nora Kemona, okay. So if we go back to our Kali system, okay, a interpreter session was created, okay. So let's, now that we got initial access to our victim machine, okay, we can start the discovery phase of our plan, okay. So let's start by opening a shell on our victim machine. And we can get information of the victim system by running system info. And you will get all this information about the operating system, the machine. You can also see that this machine is part of the pandalab.com domain. This is the name of the logon server, okay? And you also have information about the network card of this computer. As you can see, the internal IP address for this computer is 192.168.143, okay? Um, Perfect. So now we can also get information or context of the current user by running who am I space. I will run two commands here together. Um, and then who am I space slash groups. Okay. And as you can see, the user that we have compromised is Nora Kemona. Okay. And something interesting is that Nora Kemona is part of the domain admins group. Okay. For the pandalab.com domain, which means that we can access the system with high privileges. Okay, so we have completed the discovery phase of our plan. Okay, now since Nora Kemona belongs to the domain admins group, okay, we should be able to upload the Procdump file to the Windows 10 system. Okay, we will execute this file later in the credentials dumping technique, the LSASS memory technique. But first, we need to download the Procdump executable file from the Microsoft website. So in your host machine, okay, open your preferred web browser and you need to go to learn.microsoft.com/en-us/sysinternals/downloads/procdump, okay, and click on the download procdump option here. Let me close this. If you click here, we will we will select the download folder and then just click on save, okay, to get the executable, and we will get it in zip format, okay. So if we go to our downloads folder, okay, here's the zip file that we just downloaded from the Microsoft website, and then we need to extract the files, okay. So let's double click on this zip file, and here's the folder that contains the executable. Okay, so if we open this folder, you can see here 3 different executables for Procdump. The one that we are going to use is this one. Okay. Okay, so let's go back to our Kali virtual machine. Okay, and we will exit the shell, just typing and running exit. Okay, so we are in our interpreter session again. Okay, and in order to upload or send the file from Kali to our Windows 10 machine, okay, we will use the upload command. Okay, so we will need to run upload. Can I clear the screen here? No. Well, okay. So what we are going to run is upload, and then we need to specify the path in our Kali VM. Okay, and that folder is, if you go, is in home Kali desktop share folder. If we access this folder again, here is the Procdump folder, and here's the file. Okay, so we will use upload, and then specify the path. It's going to be home Kali desktop. Okay, then under share folder, and then there is a folder called Procdump. Okay, just let me double check if the name is correct. Yeah, Procdump, and then slash the name of the executable, which is proc dump.exe, okay, and then we need to specify a, a directory, a path in our Windows 10 system, okay, our victim. And I will store this file within the program files folder, okay? So since I have a space between program and files, I will use single quotation marks to specify C, colon, two backslashes, and then program space files, and then another single quotation mark, okay? Let's hit enter. So now the Kali is uploading the Procdump executable file to our victim's machine, okay? Okay, so we have uploaded the file, the executable successfully. So now we just completed this section of our plan, the command and control tactic, ingress to transfer. Okay, we just uploaded the Procdump executable file to our Windows 10 machine. Okay, so we can now execute the most important stage of our simulation, which is credential access. Okay, so we are going to our Kali Linux machine again, and we will execute the Procdump tool by using the Meterpreter execute command. Okay, so we will need to run execute. Okay, and we need to specify the file in our victim's machine with a -f parameter. Okay, and we know that this Procdump executable file is under C colon double backslash program files double backslash and then procdump.exe. Okay, um, and then this close the single quotation mark. Mhm. And then we are going to use the dash capital H parameter. Okay, so this program is executed in the background, like hidden from the user view, and we will use the dash A parameter to specify what parameters we want to add to the execution of Procdump. Okay, so I will use single quotation marks, and we need to accept the end user agreement. Okay, we will use the dash MA parameter to get a full dump of the process, the LSASS process, and we need a space specify the process, which is LSASS.exe. Okay, and then we need to specify a path or directory to store this dump file. Okay, so we will use C colon backslash Windows backslash temp, and then we will also need to, that's the directory. Now we need to specify a name for our dump file. So it will use LSASS. You can use whatever name you want here. I'm using LSASS underscore dump dot DMP file. Okay, and then close the quotation marks, single quotation marks. Let's hit enter. Once the command is executed, okay, a dump file with extension .dmp should be created under the temporal file. Okay, since we use the -ma parameter, we have created a full dump file um, that includes all memory of the LSASS process and also all its metadata. Okay, so let's move to the left, and then we are now ready to exfiltrate our dump file, okay, over our C2 channel. Okay, so we will use the download command for this. So we will run download, and then we need to specify the path in our victim's machine. Okay, so we know that is in C colon double backslash Windows um, double backslash temporal folder double backslash and then LSASS underscore dump and then dot DMP. Okay, and then just hit enter, and Kali will start to, exfiltrate the file. So let's wait for the system to complete this process. Okay, so once the execution is complete, okay, um, you will see that the dump file is stored in this directory, home, Kali, and then LSASS underscore dump.dmp. Okay, so once we have received this file, we can use any tool, such as PyPyCats, for example, that is pre-installed in Kali, to extract credentials material from this DMP file. Okay, so let's open a new window and let's open a new terminal. Okay, so let me increase the font size for you. And what we are going to do is we are going to run PyPyCats. Okay, and then we need to use the LSA parameter and then the mini dump option, and then we need to specify the path to the DMP file. Okay, so we are going to use Kali, I'm sorry, home, Kali, um, and then it's, let me double check. Yeah, and then LSASS dump. So it's going to be LSASS underscore dump the DMP. Okay, and then just hit enter. And as you can see, we were able to successfully steal credentials material from Elsa's memory. Here you can see Nora Kemona, you can see hashes, okay, not only for this user, but other users that were stored in the memory of Elsa's, okay? Awesome. So remember that the data for this simulation will be stored under the Security Datasets project from Open Threat Research, and we will share the link in the description of this video. Thank you for watching this video.